What if one single punch could shatter not just a jaw, but a lifetime of doubt? What if the roar of the crowd wasn't just noise, but a symphony of disbelief, proving everyone wrong in an instant? We're talking about moments so explosive, so sudden, they leave you breathless. Forget everything you thought you knew, because these women deliver knockouts so devastating, they're like lightning strikes in the ring. The first time Arivan Barut stepped into the octagon against Ceylon Aat, you could feel the tension. Barut, a fighter who knew how to keep her distance, used sharp, straight punches. Think of it like a carpenter measuring twice, cutting once. She wasn't about to rush in. She wanted to control the space, to dictate the rhythm. Aat, on the other hand, was looking to close the gap, to get inside that reach. You could see her trying to find an opening, a way through Barut's disciplined defense. It was a classic chess match, but with fists. The air in the arena seemed to crackle. You could almost taste the anticipation. Then, it happened. Not a flurry, not a prolonged exchange. Just one perfect moment. A left head kick, delivered with incredible speed and precision. You saw the shin connect, a clean, sickening thud right to Aat's head. It wasn't even close. The referee didn't hesitate. No count. No second chances. Just waved it off. Instantly. You had to wonder, what goes through a fighter's mind in that split second? The thought of years of training, of sacrifice, all ending with one beautiful, brutal strike. It's a reminder that in combat sports, power isn't always about brute force, it's about timing, technique, and finding that one perfect angle. You might think you've seen powerful kicks before, but this one was different. It was surgical. Now, let's talk about Wolf and Vonda Ward. This was a heavyweight clash, and from the opening bell, you could see a clear difference in strategy. Ward, standing tall, almost rigid, her chin held high. It was like an invitation. A big, flashing neon sign saying, "Hit me here." And Wolf? She was like a predator who'd just spotted the perfect opportunity. She saw that exposed chin, and she knew exactly what to do. She didn't need a complex plan. She just needed to capitalize on that mistake. You saw Wolf land a sharp left hook early on, just to let Ward know she was serious. Ward seemed unfazed, maybe a little overconfident. She lunged forward, a jab that was meant to push Wolf back, to create some space for herself. But in that lunge, she walked right into it. Wolf had thrown a loaded overhand right. It was a punch that had been brewing, gathering power. You could see it in her eyes, the intent. The moment Ward stepped in, and that right hand landed simultaneously, it was like a thunderclap. The sheer force of the collision was amplified. Ward went down. Hard. There was no getting up from that. It was a one-punch knockout, pure and simple. You have to ask yourself, how much of that was Ward's mistake, and how much was Wolf's brilliant, opportunistic strike? It makes you think about the psychology of fighting. Sometimes, the biggest weapon isn't the strongest punch, but the ability to see and exploit an opponent's weakness. You see fighters train for hours, for days, for years, honing their skills, and then it all comes down to one moment of perfect execution. It's a testament to the sport, and to the incredible athletes who compete in it. Then we have the bout between Brewer and Rodriguez. This one started with a bang, and a rather painful one for Rodriguez. In the very first exchange, Brewer landed a left hook. It wasn't just a solid punch, it was a punch that did significant damage. You heard the sound, and you knew something was wrong. The medical reports later confirmed it, a fractured nose. Imagine that. The fight had barely begun, and Rodriguez was already in agony. She had to start breathing through her mouth. You can only imagine how that changes everything. The air you take in, the fatigue, the sheer discomfort. Yet, she tried to continue. That's the heart of a fighter, isn't it? To push through that kind of pain. Brewer, seeing the opportunity, didn't let up. She faked a leg kick, a classic misdirection. And while Rodriguez was reacting to that, Brewer unleashed a Superman punch. It flew straight through Rodriguez's guard, connecting perfectly. It was a finish born out of necessity and skill. You see, fighters develop these instincts, these ways of finding an opening when the conventional routes are blocked. The bravery of Rodriguez to continue, and the cleverness of Brewer to find that finish, it's a story in itself. It's not just about the knockout, but about the resilience and the adaptability shown by both athletes. You might think a broken nose would signal the end of a fight, but for these competitors, it's just another challenge to overcome. Let's move on to Chelsea Anderson and Hannah Tull. From the outset, Anderson used her height and reach to her advantage. She was landing jabs, keeping Tull at bay, controlling the distance. It was a masterclass in striking. You could see Anderson patiently working, picking her shots. She was head-hunting, looking for those openings. Tull was trying to get inside, to negate Anderson's reach, but Anderson was too good at managing the space. You heard the commentary, "Chris gets hit all night." That's a tough position to be in, absorbing those shots, feeling the impact. Then, the fight took a turn. Anderson landed a crushing power shot. It wasn't just a punch, it was a statement. Tull went down. You saw the replay, the sheer force of that right hand. It was a big right hand from both fighters, but Anderson's connected with devastating effect. The commentator's voice rose with excitement. "Oh, that's it? Oh my goodness. That might be it." And it was. Knocked out in the 6th round. It's a moment that stays with you, that feeling of seeing a fight come to such a definitive end. You wonder about the mental fortitude of Tull, absorbing those blows, and then the sheer power and accuracy of Anderson. It's a reminder that in any fight, one perfectly timed and placed shot can change everything. You see the dedication, the training, the physical and mental preparation that goes into these moments. Now, consider O'Sullivan and Carolina arm came out aggressively, marching forward, trying to establish her rhythm. You could see she was determined, perhaps a little too eager. O'Sullivan, on the other hand, was reading her like a book. You saw the shots coming, the intentions. O'Sullivan landed a beautiful short shot over the top, showing her precision. Arm kept coming, and O'Sullivan anticipated her movements. Then, the decisive moment. O'Sullivan launched a lead high kick. The shin connected flush with Arm's jaw. It was a clean, powerful shot. You heard the reaction, the gasp from the commentators. Head shot. You called it, Paul. It's that precise moment of impact that separates the contenders from the champions. You see the technique, the timing, the raw power all coming together. It's not just about throwing a kick, it's about understanding your opponent, predicting their moves, and executing with perfect timing. You have to admire the courage of both fighters. Arm for her relentless forward pressure, and O'Sullivan for her calculated and devastating counterattack. This fight highlights the beautiful, brutal dance that is combat sports, where a single mistake can be punished with incredible severity. Next up, Clara Penguin and Coralie Robert. Penguin came out like a whirlwind. Explosive, high-speed combinations. She was all over Robert from the opening bell. You could see Penguin's boxing prowess, her ability to string together punches seamlessly. Robert tried to defend, to keep a tight guard, but Penguin's lateral movement and the sheer volume of her attacks were overwhelming. It was like a relentless storm. Penguin's punches were finding their way through, breaking down Robert's defense. And then, the finish. A final combination that went straight through the guard. It was instant. Robert was disconnected. You saw the effect, the immediate shutdown. She is out. What a straight out that did. It's a testament to Penguin's offensive power and her ability to maintain that high pace. You have to wonder, how does someone withstand that kind of sustained pressure? It's a combination of physical conditioning and mental toughness. Penguin's performance was a clinic in offensive striking, leaving no doubt about who was in control. You see the dedication to training, the focus required to deliver such a performance. Finally, we have Nissa Meksen versus Christina Morales. Meksen was incredibly sharp from the start, darting in with multi-punch combinations. She's known for her ability to overwhelm opponents. Morales, however, showed impressive footwork, evading those initial bursts. She wasn't going to be an easy target. Then, Morales pressed forward, landing leg kicks and heavy overhand rights. She was trying to impose her own game. But Mexen absorbed those shots and kept coming. She was targeting those exposed ribs, and you could see the damage accumulating. Then, Mexen landed a right hook. It wasn't just any hook, it lifted Morales's chin. You could hear the impact, the sound of leather meeting bone. The commentators were in awe. Head kick that was a ripper from on a mixer. The power, the accuracy, the speed, it all came together in that one decisive moment. It's a fight that showcased the different styles, the ebb and flow of combat. Morales's resilience, her attempts to fight back, and Mexen's relentless pressure and finishing ability. You see the skill, the power, and the heart required to compete at this level. After watching these incredible knockouts, it's impossible to deny the power these women possess. They train just as hard, if not harder, than their male counterparts, and the results speak for themselves. They are athletes of incredible skill, dedication, and courage. They step into that ring, knowing the risks, and they deliver performances that are nothing short of spectacular. You see the determination in their eyes, the focus, and then, that moment of pure, unadulterated power. It's a dance of strategy, strength, and will. What if a fighter, after a devastating knockout, decided to walk away from the sport forever? Imagine the internal struggle. The roar of the crowd, the taste of victory, the adrenaline, all of it replaced by silence. Would they regret it? Would they yearn for the competition, for the roar of the crowd that validates their hard work? Perhaps they'd find a new passion, something that requires the same discipline, the same mental fortitude. Maybe they'd become a coach, passing on their knowledge, nurturing the next generation of fighters. Or maybe, just maybe, they'd find peace in the quiet, away from the bright lights and the deafening cheers. They'd spend more time with family, pursue hobbies they never had time for, or simply enjoy the simple pleasures of life. But there's always that lingering question, that what if? What if they had one more fight? One more chance to feel that electrifying moment? It's a thought that would undoubtedly haunt them, a phantom limb of their fighting career. And what about the opponent? The one who tasted defeat so decisively? For them, the road back is even harder. The doubt creeps in. Can they still compete? Can they withstand that level of power again? It's a mental battle as much as a physical one. They'd need to rebuild their confidence, brick by painstaking brick. They'd have to confront the fear, the memory of that impact, and find a way to push past it. This is the unseen struggle, the human element behind the spectacle. The physical pain is temporary, but the mental scars can linger. And you know what's truly remarkable? Many of these fighters do exactly that. They pick themselves up, dust themselves off, and come back even stronger. They learn from their defeats, they adapt, and they evolve. That's the spirit we're celebrating here. It's not just about the knockouts, it's about the resilience, the unwavering spirit, and the sheer grit. It's about the journey, the sacrifices, and the triumph of the human will. It's about proving, time and time again, that strength and determination know no gender. So, what do you think? Which of these knockouts left you speechless? Was it the speed, the power, or the sheer unexpectedness of it all? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see more incredible moments like these, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We've got more jaw-dropping action coming your way, and you won't want to miss it. Until next time, stay safe, and keep your eyes on the prize. But before we sign off, let's just take a moment, a real moment, to appreciate that raw courage. Think about standing in the center of that ring, the roar of the crowd, a tidal wave washing over you. Your heart is a drum solo against your ribs, a frantic rhythm you can feel vibrating all the way down to your toes. The lights are blinding, hot on your skin, and the air itself feels thick with anticipation, charged like a storm about to break. Every nerve ending is screaming, tuned to the slightest shift in your opponent's stance, the smallest flicker in their eyes. And then it happens. A blur of motion, a sudden, explosive surge of energy. The impact. It's a sound that's hard to describe, isn't it? Not just a thud, but a deep, resonating that seems to echo not only in the arena but somewhere deep inside your own chest. You see it happen, almost in slow motion, but at the same time, it's over before you can even process it. The world tilts. The lights swim. Imagine that feeling. Not just the physical jolt, though that's undeniably intense. It's the sudden erasure of everything you've worked for, of every ounce of preparation, of every strategy meticulously planned. 1 second you're in the fight, the next, you're not. You're on the canvas, staring up at the lights, the cheers of the crowd now a distant, disorienting hum. It's a moment of absolute vulnerability, of being utterly exposed. And then, the count. That agonizing, drawn-out count. Each number a hammer blow, chipping away at any lingering hope. You try to move, to push yourself up, but your limbs feel heavy, disconnected. The ground feels strangely solid, yet the whole world seems to be spinning. The referee's voice, a booming presence above you, is the soundtrack to this descent. 8, 9. And then, 10. The finality of it. The end of the fight. But what happens that? That's where the real story often begins. For the victor, there's the exhilaration, the sheer elation of triumph. The roar of the crowd becomes a validation, a deafening chorus of cheers that washes away all the doubt and the fear. They're lifted up, carried on a wave of adulation, their hands raised in victory. The sweat, the blood, the exhaustion, it all fades into the background, replaced by the intoxicating sweetness of success. They've done it. They've reached the pinnacle, at least for this moment. They've proven their strength, their skill, their indomitable will. But even in victory, there's a profound understanding of what it took. They know the years of relentless training, the early mornings and late nights. They remember the sacrifices, the missed family events, the strict diets, the constant ache in their muscles. They've pushed their bodies to the absolute limit, endured countless injuries, and overcome immense mental hurdles. This victory isn't just a single fight, it's the culmination of a lifetime of dedication. And it's this dedication, this unwavering pursuit of excellence, that we're truly here to witness. It's not just about the spectacular finish, a highlight reel moment that gets replayed thousands of times. It's about the journey that leads to that moment. It's about the hours spent in the gym, the sparring sessions that leave you bruised and battered, the mental fortitude required to get back up after every single setback. Think about the discipline. Waking up before the sun, the cold air biting at your face as you head out for that run. The repetitive drills, the endless rounds of practice, the focus required to perfect every punch, every block, every footwork maneuver. It's a lifestyle, a commitment that seeps into every aspect of their lives. It's about making choices, often difficult ones, that fuel their ambition. Saying no to late nights, to tempting treats, to distractions that could derail their progress. And then there's the mental game. Fighting isn't just a physical contest, it's a war of attrition waged in the mind. The pressure to perform, the fear of failure, the self-doubt that can creep in at the most inopportune moments, these are all formidable opponents in themselves. Fighters have to learn to control their emotions, to stay calm under immense pressure, and to maintain an unwavering belief in themselves, even when everything else is telling them to quit. They have to be strategists, analyzing their opponents, identifying weaknesses, and developing game plans. They have to be psychologists, understanding their own minds and how to overcome mental blocks. And they have to be warriors, willing to step into the unknown, to face danger head-on, and to push their bodies and minds to their absolute breaking point. It's in those quiet moments, away from the roar of the crowd, that the true depth of their character is forged. It's in the solitary hours of training, the introspection, the self-talk that fuels their determination. It's in the moments of pain and exhaustion, when they could easily give up, but choose instead to dig deeper, to find that extra gear. Consider the sheer physical toll. The constant impact on their bodies, the relentless pounding that leaves them sore and aching. The injuries that are an almost inevitable part of the sport, broken hands, torn ligaments, concussions. They learn to fight through the pain, to push past the discomfort, to make their bodies do things that seem almost superhuman. It's a testament to their incredible resilience and their unwavering commitment to their craft. And it's the same commitment that we see reflected in the eyes of their coaches, their cornermen, their families. They're all invested in this journey, sharing in the triumphs and the heartbreaks. The cheers from the corner, The words of encouragement during breaks, the anxious glances from the sidelines, it all adds to the emotional tapestry of the sport. They are the silent support system, the unwavering pillars of strength that help these athletes achieve their dreams. But let's circle back to that knockout itself. That flash of brilliance, that moment of perfect execution. It's not just luck. It's the result of thousands of hours of practice, of honing their skills until they become second nature. It's about reading the opponent, anticipating their moves, and seizing the opportunity when it arises. It's about the timing, the precision, the sheer explosive power unleashed at the exact right moment. Imagine the milliseconds that count. The opponent throws a jab, and in that fraction of a second, the fighter sees an opening. They shift their weight, their hips coil, and their arm snaps forward like a piston. The glove connects, and there's that unmistakable sound, that jarring impact that signals the end. It's a symphony of movement and power, a breathtaking display of athletic prowess. And when you see it, really it, you can almost feel the shockwave. You can feel the force that travels through the body, the sudden, overwhelming sensation that renders the opponent unable to continue. It's a powerful, primal display of dominance, a testament to the sheer raw power that these athletes possess. But even in the midst of that raw power, there's a delicate balance. It's the balance between aggression and control, between unleashing their full force and maintaining the discipline to execute their technique perfectly. One wrong move, one slight miscalculation, and the opportunity could be lost. It requires an incredible level of focus and precision. And that focus. Imagine the concentration required. The world around them fades away. The crowd noise, the distractions, everything becomes a blur. All that matters is the opponent, the space between them, and the execution of their plan. Their eyes lock, a silent battle of wills before the physical one even begins. It's that intensity, that laser-like focus, that makes these moments so captivating. You're drawn into their world, sharing in their anticipation, their determination, their eventual triumph. You feel the surge of adrenaline, the thrill of the contest, the sheer awe of witnessing something so extraordinary. And the aftermath. The celebration, yes, but also the respect. Even in victory, there's an understanding of the shared struggle, the mutual respect between competitors who have pushed each other to their limits. The handshake, the embrace, the acknowledgement of the effort put forth by both sides. It's a testament to the sportsmanship that often underpins these intense rivalries. But beyond the individual fights, beyond the knockouts and the victories, there's a larger narrative at play. It's the story of human potential, of what we are capable of achieving when we dedicate ourselves to something. It's the story of perseverance, of overcoming obstacles, and of realizing our dreams. These athletes are an inspiration, showing us that with hard work, dedication, and an unwavering belief in ourselves, anything is possible. So, when you watch these incredible knockouts, don't just see the flash and the fury. See the years of training, the sacrifices made, the mental fortitude required. See the human spirit, resilient and determined, pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible. See the dedication, the discipline, and the sheer courage that these athletes bring to the ring every single time they step onto that canvas. It's more than just a fight, it's a testament to the extraordinary power of the human will. And that, my friends, is something truly worth celebrating.